How are you?
Exhausted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why are you exhausted?
This is the first day that on my CELTA course, and we had a lot of tasks about it.
Really?
What?
Okay. I said really? Why?
Sorry.
Why did you have a lot of tasks?
Because it was the first day, and CELTA course is an intensive course. We only had 45 minutes to take a break at lunch. So, yeah, I
How
think
long is
so.
the course a day?
Mm, from half past 8 until 6 p.m.
Damn. Wow. Okay. And you're going, and it's every day, Monday to Friday, right?
Yeah, that's right.
For 1 month?
Yes, and after after every lesson, we have a lot of exercises to do, like prepare lesson plan, practice for teaching practices, do assignments, that sort of thing. So
Hmm? Wow. How was it?
that is pretty good for the first day.
What did you learn today?
Uh, like I prepare for beforehand.
Hmm.
So when when I did my rehearsal, it's pretty good because I am well prepared. Um, but the most interesting thing is I meet a lot of new people, and they're really friendly, and I I think that I could be into them.
Okay, you could learn. Well, yeah, you could be into them. Okay? You could get along with them because if you're into them, it means that you like them.
Okay.
Yeah, but it means that you like them, as opposed to just they're good people. It's like I mean, if you're into someone, normally if you're into someone, it's because you fancy them or you want to go out with them. Yeah,
Okay.
if we get along or we click or yeah, click. Right? Where is it? Click. God, I hate my keyboard. I need a new keyboard. I am going to go and buy a keyboard after this. I need a keyboard, I think. So you can say we click.
Okay.
So if we click, we click. Yeah, yeah. I met a new people. I met a lot of new people, and we click. So you're feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. Why are you doing all of this? Okay, let me ask you a different question. Okay, if you wake up tomorrow, imagine if you wake up tomorrow and you realize your English is perfect. It is perfect. Like you're native. You wake up tomorrow, you have a British passport in your bag, you're suddenly native. What would you do with it?
Uh, use that language to learn other things.
Like what?
Like I can read documentary or find out more about something that I'm interested in English.
Okay. I have another screen, by the way, behind this screen. The camera's here, but the screen is now here. And so it's like, so if I look up, I'm not trying to pray or something. No.
Okay, okay, got that.
So, um, yeah, what would, because it's interesting when I find like people that learn it. I mean, I studied English in school. I studied theater and I studied English and I studied creative writing. And even I remember back in the day, my family would say, "Why are you doing English? You're English. Why would you? pick English as your major, as your minor. I did English language, English literature, theater studies, and then I did creative writing, and I did freelance writing. And they're like, you will always write anyway. So why do you need it? And it's a question that's always been on my mind because English is the language that everyone wants. But for instance, if you came over to Europe, you have more of a chance of getting a job than I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't get a job here because I speak English. So these days they need English and another language. Before it used to be English. Can you speak English? But now everyone speaks a little bit of English.
Yeah.
So now they want your native language so you can come to Europe and teach and make a lot of money just because you speak Vietnamese and English. And I always found it a little bit unfair because at the end of the day, not many people speak it as well as they think or understand it as well as they think. But it's not necessary anymore because they just want you to know a little bit to be able to communicate or understand what they're saying. And so I always ask this question like, what would you do with it if you could speak English perfectly? Because a lot of the times people learn it for their job. But then when you learn English, you realize you don't like your job. You realize how much you hate your job. It's like, oh my, my daughter speaks English now and she doesn't like speaking Czech, even though she was born in Czech Republic. So she's like, yeah, I want to speak English. I'm like, yeah, but she's like, I don't want to speak Czech because English is more convenient. As a language, it is probably the most convenient language. Here's something for you. Where is it? Little.
But like it comes to my knowledge that about 80% of our conversation are like English conversations nowadays are from non-native speakers. So I think yeah, the ultimate purpose of people is to communicate in English.
In
That's all.
English. Yeah.
That's all.
And communicate on a particular subject,
Situation. Yeah.
yeah, or situation, which is it sounds good in passing, but it's terrible in action because now I find people are less caring.
Yeah.
They're less caring about what they're saying because they have a script.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times I call, for instance, customer service, and the moment they reply, anything they say after I say hi, I will know whether they can speak English or whether they're reading from paper. Because a lot of them don't realize that they have typos and some of the words, some of the phrases. So for instance, I can say the word what. English, as I said, is 30% tone, 20% actual words that are in it. So your tone of voice tells me more than the
Yeah.
words you want to say. Which means someone on the phone that says, uh, what did you say? Or someone says, what did you say? What did you say? All of them are different tones that mean completely different things. But no one tells them about this. So they read a script, and sometimes the person just says, I'm sorry, what did you say? With no tone. So it sounds like you're not listening to me. Well, what do you say? Oh, something like that. And it's just been very interesting hearing or seeing the different effects of English recently and the misuse of language. It's been crazy. It's been annoying.
If you may not know, in my country, like when I was in high school, even now, some teachers just teach their students how to, put intonation, how to raise their voice at the end or in the middle or in the first part of their sentence. But
Yeah,
it sounds really strange, you know,
it does.
weird. And I think intonation um, it is the thing that we couldn't, put it as a formula. we have to put our emotion
Yes,
to our speech. Yeah.
because English is an emotional language. That's the thing. It's an absolutely emotional language. You have to be able to really, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to, like, every word has its own feeling. They won't tell you that, but that's how it is. Like most words in English, they have their own feeling. If you say it, once you know where the word comes from and how it sounds, putting it together becomes second nature. But then there's magic in English, and I say this a lot. The word, for instance, spelling, the word itself, spelling. So you know what spelling is, of course, the word spelling. Do you know what a spell is?
When I talk.
No, like so you have this word. Oh, I think I spelled stupid. Spell.
Yeah, I know it. But I only spell for, for particular situation. For example, when somebody have to get my name, but they don't know how to spell, so I spell for them. That's all.
Exactly. But spelling, the word itself, you know where it comes from.
No.
The word means to write letters.
Okay.
Okay? So spell, a spell is magic. So wizards and witches cast spells. And hence, when you're spelling, you're casting words in the right order to cause an effect. So we say spelling because we're putting letters together, but really, spelling, what it means is you say something, the right spell, expelliarmus, you've seen that Harry Potter. Repelliarmus, yeah, you say the right words to cause the right effect. And once you know that, you can use words the same way. You can say something knowing that. So, for instance, you want someone to do something here, but you have to say something in the right way. Have you seen the film Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes. From
Leonardo,
yeah, that's right.
you see what he does with the pen when he sells the guy a pen. So he's giving the guy an example of selling, and he tells him, "I can sell you this pen." And then he tells him something else, and in the end, the guy needs a pen.
Okay.
He says, "Oh, I need a pen," and he gives him the pen. I said, "I'll sell you this pen for this thing." It's the same thing. It's a manipulation of words, and this is what phrasals are there for, and idioms. You say it right, you spell someone, and that is the one thing I see lacking in 80% of the of the of the English speakers, because no one's spelling anymore. No one's saying the right word or the right phrase to use the language effectively.
But you know what?
Well,
About I remember that you gave me an advice about like watching comedies. And that is
yeah,
the one that I can improve my intonation. I know how to put my emotion into my speech. That's
comedy is always fun
yeah.
because comedy shows you a different angle of how things are said or how people see things
Yeah.
in a weird kind of, there's a connection between how you say something, what you say, and the person you're saying it to. So one word can change everything. 10 words can destroy everything. One word can maybe fix everything.
And I suppose that when I got 8 in speaking, the reason is I am at that time I freely expressed my emotion
Hmm.
in the testing room. Yeah.
Yeah, words don't matter. Like words matter, but they they matter if you, for instance, a lot of my friends. One of the things I'm known for is making sounds. I make a lot of sounds. And my favorite sound is it means so if someone says something really stupid to me or something really nonsensical, I have a sound. I don't say anything, but you feel everything. So if someone
Yeah.
comes and says, "Oh, I think Beyonce is one of the ugliest women in the world," eh, eh, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
If someone says that is your opinion, everyone is entitled to their opinions, but that's a dumb idea. That's a dumb thing to say. Oh, I think, Beyonce is the most beautiful woman on the planet. She is very beautiful, yes. On the planet, eh, you don't need words. Words are necessary. You
Okay.
know what I feel. You know, the head plus the movement, the communication with the body is all part of it. And is all just part of this thing where people forget to use it as it can be used. Just reminded me of this, actually. Here's something fun for you to maybe you know it, maybe you don't. But it's an interesting one when it comes to English. So,
Strange beginnings.
English words with strange beginnings. Okay, so we'll take it. You know the word flavor, of course. Ice cream flavor, benefits,
Yes.
digestion,
Yes.
spirit,
Yes.
and punishment.
Yes.
And that's it. Okay, when you're ready, go for it.
Read it. Have you ever wondered where the word ketchup comes from and what we call bad dreams nightmare? Here are some English words whose histories might surprise you. Ketchup. Ketchup probably comes from the Chinese word koichikap. No, it sounds like Japanese.
It sounds like Japanese indeed. It's Asia. It's you guys over there. You guys did that. You guys made ketchup. That's what we know.
Okay. Meaning fish source. It began in Asia as a source made from fish and plant juices and was brought to England about 300 years ago. The British made different types of ketchup or ketchup, including walnut, mushroom, and cucumber flavors. Tomato ketchup, as we know it today, became popular in the early 1900s.
So 1900s. So as long as it's
1900s.
two, yeah,
Uh,
hundreds, it will always be 1900s. Yeah.
okay, okay.
And then you have
Whiskey.
whiskey. I love whiskey. I don't know whether you love whiskey, but I really love whiskey. It's a hmm,
Oh my god. The word comes from the Gaelic phrase which means water of life. Even today, whiskey is thought to have some healthy benefits. Studies have shown that drinking small amounts of whiskey can improve digestion and heart health, and even help with a cold.
this is very true. When you're not getting drunk on it, it can improve digestion and heart health. Nobody
Mortgage,
thinks of a mortgage.
mortgage. Okay.
Yeah, a mortgage for your house.
A mortgage is money that you borrow from a bank in order to buy a house. In our French, the word mortgage means debt and the word gage means promise. So when you take out a mortgage, you are making a debt promise.
A death promise for your house. And most people tend to die, spend their whole lives paying. So really, a
For
death promise, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
nightmare.
A nightmare.
A nightmare is a bad dream. The word nightmare comes from the Anglo-Saxon and the Old Norse word mara, mean demon or evil spirit. They believed that nightmares were caused by demons who should who would sit on the top of sleeping person's chest.
Mm. And finally, treadmill,
Treadmill. Okay.
please. Mm.
This is a treadmill.
That's a treadmill. So those machines in the gym,
Okay.
they're called treadmills. Yep.
Okay. Treadmill contains the word tread, meaning to walk, and mill, a machine used there to make flour. The treadmill was invented in England and used there in prisons. Prisons.
In prisons.
Uh, okay. In the 19th century, prisoners would run on the treadmills as a form of punishment.
And now they're in the gym.
Okay.
Um, But then these do you think it's important to understand the history of words?
I think it depends on different perspectives. For example,
Okay.
if a just a language learner, it's not really, you know, it is not really necessary to understand the history of the words. But
Mm.
for linguistics, this
A
it would
linguist.
be, yeah, it's really
A linguist.
important.
Okay. I wanted to show you that because the history of words, it doesn't matter as much. You're absolutely right. But what does matter is understanding the words or the phrases that you're going to use. Now we have 7 minutes, so I am going to, oh, 6.5, which means I am going to drop this on you right here. What am I going to give you to press? I think we're going to use that one. That sounds like a good song.
Song.
Not here, in your environment.
Okay.
How many of these do you know the meaning of?
Play with.
I think everyone knows play with.
Fire back.
Which one?
Fire back.
Fight back? Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Maybe zero out, like you have nothing.
finish completely. You zero out your account, you zero out. Normally, zero out is financial.
Wind up. Um, no.
Wind up has,
Wind. Oh, okay.
yeah, wind up
That would come
has,
from unwind, like unwind my mind.
unwind your mind, yeah. But this one has three meanings, or four meanings even. I think three. Wind up. So unwind your mind. The opposite of that is is one of the meanings. You can also have it when you're finishing something, and you can also have it when you are when you're like if you have one of those watches, so you have a little thing that you need to wind up the clock or something. So if you wind something, you wind it, you wind up the clock or wind up the machine so it can move.
Okay.
Then I can say, okay, guys, we need to wind up this meeting. So we're winding up. We're finishing to bring something to an end. Okay, people, we have just a few minutes left, so let's wind up this meeting.
Okay.
And then you have the British. I guess it's a British slang. The same way you have wind down. So when you wind down, you slowly finish something. When you wind up, you slowly bring something to an end. When you wind up someone, though, you can make them annoyed. So a lot of the times, British slang is like, "Oh, he's winding me up," which means he's irritating me or she's irritating me. If someone is winding you up or they wound you up, they irritated you or they annoyed you, which is the most common one I see.
Okay.
I don't really see wind up the meeting. Normally people say let's wrap it up or let's finish or let's wind down. You slowly bring it to a close. But normally when I see wind up these days, it's mentally. It's like, oh man, he's winding me up. I was hanging out with John today and he wound me up, and so I left his house in a rage. Something like that. I am gonna give you this because you're quite good at them, and I'm going to
Oh,
go. Well, you think you know? Well, you didn't know 2 out of 5. That's pretty good. And this one is going to
idioms.
be yes, this one.
Hands are tied. Like uh, we couldn't do anything more
Yeah, but why?
because hands are tied.
Sorry, I can't serve you. My hands are tied. I want to serve you, but my no, like so you couldn't do anything more. You're absolutely correct, but because of the rules of the regulation, so your hands are tied because you you don't have the clearance. You don't have the. There's nothing you can do because of something.
Okay.
Something is restricting you, so you can't do anything. So that's why your hands are tied. You're in a
Okay.
place to do it, but my hands are tied. I can't do anything. Heart is in the right place.
Like you fall for something.
The best way to describe this one, everybody has that one friend. Everybody. That one friend that you understand very well, but they're not everyone's taste.
Okay.
In fact, some people might say, why are you friends with this person? But you have your reasons because that person can sometimes be an ass. Sometimes they annoy everyone, but you know that inside they're good people. They're a good person, but you know, they're caviar. That person, their heart is in the right place. That's the person you will normally use that phrase for. They've done something. Yeah, I know he did this or she did this, but her heart's in the right place. She didn't mean to hurt you. She was trying to do, but because it's a particular kind of person, you say their heart is in the right place because their character is in the wrong place. Normally, it's in the wrong place. So you say, yeah, their heart is in the right place. And I think you know the rest.
Is it behind someone's back? Like got someone back? Right? No.
Gossiping. You're gossiping about someone.
Ah. Okay. Okay.
Talking
Okay.
behind my back again. Well, I've sent you both of them so you can check them out and you'll be able to see the practice run below them.
Okay.
Good